CJ Stroud, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. Is the offensive rookie of the year conversation already over with? Welcome back to another episode of the Quarterback Room. I am Keith Sanchez. That is Damian Parsons, where we bring you the best content surrounding the best quarterback performances from this weekend, man. DP, what's going on? CJ Stroud, what's going on, man?
Listen, bro, CJ Stroud went out there and had an amazing day. You asked the question, is the Offensive Rookie of the Year award already wrapped up? Keith, after his performance versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which we're about to watch, I think so. But before we get into that, guys, hopefully after you watch this video, we have earned your like, your subscription, comment, and talk to us because we do talk back. All right, hopefully we earn that all before the end of this video, guys. But without further ado, we want to see what the eye in the sky tells us. What the All-22, what does the tape say about CJ Stroud? Let's get into it. All right, guys, first quarter, Keith, like 2nd and 7, and this is a San Francisco 49ers type of offense, right? Bobby Slowick coming over from San Fran with D'Amico Ryans. And one thing that we noticed was kind of the concepts. And one thing I noticed when I watched this tape, I saw some of the things that Kyle Shanahan kind of does with Brock Purdy over with San Fran with his offense, Keith. So this is going to be a play here. We're going to have kind of whip route, but I believe that was the John Mechie down here at the bottom of the screen. You're going to have the running back kind of on like a takeoff, clear out, a quick out to Nico Collins, but this ball goes on to the end breaker to Tank Dell. One thing that I really love and appreciate from CJ Stroud is his ball placement, Keith.
Yeah, I agree. Accuracy is one thing that stands out, man. Accuracy and composure. And like you said, DP, we did Brock Purdy last week, broke down Brock Purdy's film. And that was one of the first things I noticed also was that some of these same concepts as far as working the middle of the field, right, and reading those linebackers are in the Houston Texans, right, film and in their playbook. So I thought that this opening play right here it was easy, right? Like just get the quarterback going. Let's read these linebackers. Let's read these safeties. CJ Stroud is a high IQ quarterback. Let's give him an easy throw. And he opened it up, man, with the throw to Tank Dell.
And now, like I said, we talk about the ball placement, Keith. I appreciate him putting that on the back side of the frame, right? Because then you allow Tank Dell, who's able to slow down his momentum, catch the ball, but also protect himself, right? Brace for a hit from a defender that's over the top that's driving downhill.
Yep.
Now again, we see this is the touchdown on the slant. I love the ball fake here and just the arm angle, right? Just whip it right in front of Nico Collins, right? Allowing him to catch the ball, right? And just be able to go straight towards the end zone. He doesn't have to slow down. The ball's not like behind him. It's just perfect ball placement. The fake is really good, right? The ball action, the play action, the ball fake here. Sell that. And look what it does to the safety, Keith. The safety kind of walks up as a +1 in the run game. So now you got single high in the red zone. You got an advantageous throwing lane, but you got to sell that fake.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked about it last week, and I'm going to talk about what? Telling a story, right? You're trying to sell the defense on a story. And when you look at personnel, and I always talk about personnel matters, you have 2 tight ends, an additional tight end, right? So you almost get a 3 tight end set. You're heavy to the right side, right? Then you do the play action to the right side. And like you said, you look at the defense. Look at the safety, right? The deepest safety is on the opposite hash, right? So how much room that CJ Stroud has to hook up with the Nico Collins, right? To where he knows I just have to put this football, and I like where he places the football. And this is where you're talking about hitting receivers on the run. Because if that thing is a little bit behind him, Nico Collins has to slow down, right? If it's too high, he has to jump up off of the ground to be able to catch the football. But he hits him in stride, and Nico is able in stride be able to catch the football. Then immediately, I love that still frame right there, DP. He's immediately be able to turn that thing up, and it's a touchdown, right? It's not just a being able to move the chains. It's a touchdown because of the ball placement and the accuracy, but it all starts with the offensive formation, dictating what you want to get your one-on-one situation, and then now feed Nico Collins. So CJ Stroud did an excellent job being able to execute this play.
And like you said, Keith, tell a story, right? Listen, I want to tell a story, but some of these stories, I want them to be lies to you. And you see that right here. He's lying with the ball fake, getting 45 and number 23, triggering downhill, right? You want to run blitz it? Cool. We like that because now all you're going to do is open this up for easy pitch and catch for me to deliver it to my big body wide receiver.
Yep.
And again, this is kind of some of the sets we saw with Brock Purdy in the San Fran film session last week, Keith. You kind of show run heavy formations, right, where you don't expect, that there's a run pass option, but you just don't know if it's going to be a pass or a run. Big, nice play action fake. And this is stuff that Tank Dell's custom to doing, but even back in college, being able to run those kind of deep, 7 stops in the middle of the field, deep curl routes, and make himself present, right? Put that pressure on the backpedaling safety, get to that spot, and C.J. Stroud was able to get it to him effectively.
Yeah, and once again, DP, we talked about personnel, right? And we look at Levante David, Devin White, I'm sorry, which are two high-level NFL linebackers, right? But then you talk about Tank Dell. I mean, this guy, you can't cover him with a linebacker, right? But the offensive personnel with them having a fullback and them in, offset I formation is cells run. So those linebackers are already creeping up. And then now all you're doing is just creating a gap for that way CJ Stroud could get the football. So like you said, it's just by design, right? It's by offensive personnel, it's by play action design, and then it's CJ Stroud being able to, in rhythm, get the football out, know what defense he has, and make the easy play.
And I just love the fact that it's like they sense the reading the defense, you can kind of sense, okay, they're going to be aggressive, right? You saw some stuff on tape. You know that they're going to run blitz you. And this is a game, Keith, where Tampa didn't allow them to run the ball. Houston couldn't run the football well in this game at all.
Yeah, and what this does, DP, is when you talk about play action, you're talking about we always talk about with those edge rushers, right? And you're talking about neutralizing edge rushers. What you do, you run the football at them, right? So that way they can't rush the quarterback. With their linebackers, Tampa Bay's two linebackers, Devontae White and Levante David, are their two best defenders, right? And what you do is to neutralize them, right? You give them a lot of eye candy. So that's the play action stuff. It's like, you know what? Let me just get you out of the way, because if they just simply had to drop back, that's two of the most athletic linebackers in the entire NFL. So they could easily drop into those lanes. But when you give them that run action fake, look how both of those guys are into the line of scrimmage, right? There's no way that they can get back in coverage over the middle of the field.
No, listen, as a linebacker, that's not where you want to be. That's no man's land. When you inside that line of scrimmage with the blockers and defensive linemen, and it's a play action pass, you in no man's land. You left the middle of the field vacant, and C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell took advantage. Keith, this next play, like we will show a little bit of some plays that he didn't make as well. And this was a play to me, Keith, where the ball placement wasn't, and the ball placement accuracy wasn't on point for him. I think it was a good decision, Keith. But just watch where this pass goes. This is where it should go, right? You be able to throw it to I think that was Tank Dell, but you able to throw it to the receiver, keep him on the line, right? Because he's got the separation from the safety. But watch where this ball travels here, Keith. It takes him upfield. Yep. No, like I'd rather that ball be on that trajectory, on that line, to hold him to because when you're breaking like this and you're here, I always say I like to see wide receivers hold the line when they come out of the break. If he's going to hold the line, you got to throw him down that line, Keith. And C.J. Stroud just didn't do that. And it almost was an interception if the safety could have made that diving grab.
Yeah, and this is some of the things we've seen with C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, right? It was some of those gimmies, so it was like, why he didn't hit that one, right? Like that was an easy one. That was an easy one, and I think that was an easy one for him. In this route right here, and yeah, if he was able to just drive it more, right, and kind of cut that thing off instead of leading him up the field. But you'll notice that too. That and it's another play on here, DP, where it actually turned into a catch. Was that I believe he was trying to drive the football a little bit, and that thing just kind of had a little bit more air under him, and I think Brown was able to adjust to it. But we'll get to the play because I know it's clipped up. But yeah, this is one of those, and I'm glad we put it in here, right, because we're trying to tell the exact story and everything that happened. And yeah, he missed on that one. But it's one of those where it's like you wish you could just have those back.
Yeah, no, just one of those throws that you like, for a fact he gets into the Monday morning film room. He's like, I missed that one. Even though you have 470 passing yards and 5 touchdowns, you're still kicking yourself like, I had that throw, and you go to my bad, Tank. That's on me. The play action sells it. Linebackers are kind of trying to get to their spots, and you just have it, right? At the end, you got a defender coming underneath, working underneath, but still, you can layer that to the sideline and allow him to, which he did later on in this game.
Yep, you got to drive that one.
So you got Dalton Schultz matched up with a corner. It just again, really good stuff because it's all about moving defenders from the throwing lane, right? And I love that from the play caller, right? Because now you're doing stuff not just from under center, but also out of the shotgun, and it's a simulated pressure too, Keith. You know what I'm saying? It's a simulated pressure. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got what? 6 or 7 guys on the offense at the line of scrimmage. You don't know who is going to be the defender that's going to trigger and actually blitz, or somebody going to drop off. And I really liked how they combated that and how he didn't panic. He saw it. He dropped back, saw what was happening post snap. Right? Didn't allow them to show him a picture to fool him into a bad pass.
Yeah, I agree, and I think with CJ Stroud that he just accepted it, right? At the end of the day, listen, y'all, we got seven. I think it was 7 defenders on the line of scrimmage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to throw hot anyway, right? Because what's the likelihood is that one of those guys is gonna drop out? What's the likelihood is that two of those guys are gonna drop out? So you know what? I'm already setting it in my mind that I'm gonna already go hot with that play. So when you watch the end zone version of it, DP, you're able to see what he's seeing. I thought that was just a very high level IQ football play. Let me get this thing out, and then like you said, with one thing that I noticed about CJ Stroud, it's not just the time to throw, right? It's his release. He has a very
Yeah.
quick release. And I think he actually has multiple releases, right? Like he can get the ball out quickly, and he can also, if he needs to take his time to really go through all of his throwing motion.
100%. We're gonna have mesh concept here, and I think he just does a good job. Does a good job reading what's going on. Right, they got a delayed kind of blitz from the second level defender, and he just does a good job getting the ball to John Mechie and allowing him to get yards after the catch.
Yep, I agree. This is another situation, like you said, where he just went through it. You see a very calm, relaxed CJ Stroud, right? And these are throws where people may take them for granted, right? But how many times have we seen those throws behind a wide receiver? They're just too far out in front of a wide receiver, right? And it winds up being an incomplete pass. But man, when I order it up, and if I'm the offensive coordinator and I order mesh route, I expect you just to hit that wide receiver in stride, give it to our playmakers, let them turn the ball up the field, and let's move the chains.
No, 100%. And the pocket was getting a little muddy. And like I said, the one thing that I can consistently say as I watch this film this year: poise, confident, and calm. And he
Yep.
brings that to this offense, man. You see it, right? Making a check. It looks like they're about to go under center. Works back into the shotgun, right? And understanding, okay, I know what I have. Just easy pitch and catch. Let's go get that first down.
Yep.
And I love the fact that Bobby Slow mixes in the different, the motions, the shotgun snaps, things of that nature. This is a throw, Keith, where for me, I think he took a sack here.
Yeah, yeah.
I felt like he could have gotten this ball to Tank Dell. I believe that's Tank Dell at the bottom of the screen working on the crosser, right? So you're going to have kind of trying to create the natural rubs here with those two middle of the field routes, right? Two crossers or two over routes, two benders that are used to pick. And typically what you do is you hit the guy that's unimpeded, the guy that comes open and comes free. And I feel like Tank Dell actually comes free. And then with his ball placement, turn to CJ Stroud, he can get that pass to Tank Dell. But I do feel like what we talked about with Brock Purdy last week, I feel like he kind of predetermined this throw.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that tough, and I want to kind of talk about the part of with CJ Stroud, him hanging in the pocket, right, and then not using his legs because if you look at it, he has the ability to be able to escape to the left side, right, and he's talking about
Mm-hmm.
escaping to the left side and then being able to create some. But that's one thing we noticed with him at at
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State, right? It was just like using your legs, right? Like, hey, use your legs. Like, if you are athletic quarterback, you don't have to make yourself just sit strictly in the pocket, right? Like get out of that pocket, much like what you see with a Joe Burrow, right, or a Josh Allen. Get out of the pocket and just make a play, be able to extend the play, and then now you turn into the scramble drill and you're able to get the ball to one of your wide receivers.
100%. 100%. Again, this is just a good throw, good timing, anticipation, right? Getting that ball out of his hand on the deep comeback to Nico Collins versus off coverage, right, against zone. And they threw a mixture of zones at him, Keith. I saw some cover 2. I saw cover 4, cover 3. They threw different looks at him. And he was still able to slice and dice and pick them apart.
Yeah, and I think this is in the half right here, so you know you're going to get soft coverage, right? But this is still big boy stuff, and I like the design and essential from the perspective of the defender is sitting at the sticks, right? And we know that if we cut this thing off at the sticks, he's probably gonna be able to jump it. So you have to cut that thing off right before the defender, right? So then that way you can, be able to get the football. But I mean, if you look at it, DP, that's a 15-yard comeback that he rips, right? That's a big ball throw. That's a big money throw. That's when you talk about natural arm talent from a
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. That's natural arm talent right there to be able to drive that football 12, 15-yard comeback, right? And be able to hit your hit the wide receiver.
And pocket presence, Keith, right? Feeling the pocket, slides, and then
Yep.
and as he's sliding to the opposite direction, able to whip that ball to the far sideline. That's good stuff. And then you're gonna have here just and they ran a couple of these. This is gonna be the touchdown catch and run to Noah Brown, but you will see kind of those 2 to 3 man routes where people talking. Kurt Warner's talking about how his offensive line's playing more lights out. They'll go to some packages like this where it's more so, hey, we want to get max protect because their
Mhm.
offensive line still isn't great. Right, it's still an offensive line that will get pressure. He just has played a little bit better under pressure than some really expected for him coming out of Ohio State.
Yeah, this was something I was surprised with too. I agree with you with the protections. Was that like you said, you'll see them max protect and you'll get these 2 man, 3 man routes. This I found interesting because they almost ran into each other, right? So I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if CJ Stroud was supposed to get rid of the football a little earlier, or if the outside receiver was supposed to continue to push vertical, because that's what you'll usually see, right? It's somebody that'll push vertical and
Like a
then
clear
somebody
out.
that'll come underneath. Yeah, you have your clear out route, but the wide receiver snaps that thing off, and I noticed both defenders. So I would say that was a good job by CJ at getting rid of the football at that moment because I think if he was a second later, right, now that cornerback that was covering the outside wide receiver, his head back around and he's able to jump under that thing.
100%, 100%, and that's the thing. Like I said, offensive line is playing solid football. Shaq Mason has been a tremendous interior offensive lineman to keep him clean on the interior offensive line. But just going to some max protect stuff, selling the run, even though they couldn't run the ball to save their life in this game, they still sold it well. Keith, they told some stories, and they were all lies.
Yep, I agree. And you just that was once again, man. You talk about pocket presence.
No, his pocket presence is legit here. His pocket presence is legit, and you get to see him just kind of slide, bounce, and play and make plays with calmness, coolness, and poise in the pocket. One thing I noticed too, Keith, with their motions, it does they like this is kind of almost a double motion pre-snap, right? So the you're gonna move the play side tight end, right, across the formation. Then you're gonna bring in the other tight end who's like off, who's aligned off over there with Noah Brown. And it really, like we talk about, it just sells the run. So it's like two
Mhm.
tight, like a double tight end, kind of pulling and leading, and then just the ball placement, accuracy, the touch, right, the pacing on his throws. It's almost like a pitcher, Keith. Like he just knows the right amount of air, touch, and velocity to put on passes.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was most impressed with. DP talking about just somebody deliver the football. This right here, this was my favorite play. This was to me,
Yeah.
this was the best throw DP because you let that thing play a little bit, right? And this is just another version of the slot fade, right? They just run it
Mm-hmm.
from bunch in a sense, right? You got a stop route, and then you got um the slot wide receiver, which was Tank Dell in this situation, pushing vertical, right? And when you watch when he throws his football, DP, Tank Dell didn't even not even clear defender. He wasn't even, the phrase, if you even, you're leaving. He wasn't
Right.
even yet. He was still the defender was still in front of him, and CJ Stroud let that football go. So you talk about practice reps. You talking about the ability to anticipate. You talking about throwing to a spot like that. He hit all boxes when we talking about check marks. They tell you, hey, that slot fade, throw that thing to the back pylon, right? And he put that thing right there on the money. This is my favorite throw from this entire game.
This was definitely top two for me as well. We got another throw that we'll get to in the last wee seconds of the game that was just a dime, but that throw and this throw, and it was just like the shoulder fake, right, showing because it's a stutter and go. It's a stutter and go, and it's not just on the receiver to fake out the defenders, but the quarterback has to help with that. And CJ Stroud know exactly what to do, sell that little shoulder shimmy, and then drop a dime. Man, this is a touchdown pass to tight end Dalton Schultz, and just understanding like, all right, I know that he's not going to run this. He's not a receiver. Like he's not going to run it with immense speed and quick twitch out of the break. Understanding the personnel that you have and who you're throwing to, and just being able to lead him away, right? And I love the fact that Dalton Schultz and the alignment of Dalton Schultz gives them both space on the outside to make this type of throw, read and throw to keep it away from the inside defender, right? So he can't undercut it and allow him to throw his guy away from that defender as well.
Yeah, and I what I took from this is that this is potentially an option route, right? In the sense of the
Mm-hmm.
fact of that you could see at the top of the route, Don Schultz, he kind of stutters a little bit because you expecting a kind of two-way option type situation. And what I seen was this. This is a quarterback and a tight end being on the exact same page, right? Reading the defense the exact same way because if Don Schultz breaks inside, he breaks right into that safety over top, right? But he was able to beat the cornerback to the outside with that little stutter, and then CJ Stroud and him, they're on the same exact page. He lets that football go. CJ Stroud throws another accurate pass, and then this time it's a touchdown, right? It's a touchdown to the tight end, something that you're not expecting if you're the cornerback for a tight end to beat you on the outside. But I think good play design. CJ Stroud continuously talks about him putting in the work, right? His teammates talk about the work that he puts in. This is a play where you see the work that we put in, because we don't hit this if we're on two different pages talking about if we're the quarterback and tight end and we're not seeing this defense the same exact way.
100%. I love the fact that you mentioned is, just the understanding, basically just him reading leverage, talking about Dalton Schultz. And when it's an option route, Keith, it's an option route for both the receiver option and the quarterback. They both have to
Yep.
read it the same. And like you said, they were on the same page.
Yep.
Now this one, yeah, okay. So yeah, this was a little like him. He had to sit in the pocket on this one, Keith. He had to sit in the pocket a little bit on this one because he's getting the ball to Noah Brown out of the bunch with the you got Tank Dell in the motion, right, showing that it's man to man. Noah Brown's getting hemmed up a little bit, but he fights through it and just sticking in the pocket. Because what I love, Keith, is that he trusts the protection. His pocket presence in his field doesn't make him want to bail out of a clean pocket, right? And he stands in there and waits for his guy and gives his guy an opportunity because he has the time and he trusts the protection. And he makes the subtle slides and shuffles away from that late looper on the interior offensive line who's kind of pressing that inside shoulder to where he's trying to get, he's almost in the backfield. If CJ Stroud doesn't move off of this, Keith, if he doesn't move here, this pass is probably affected. But he does a good job moving away from the pressure, right? Moving away from the pocket field, everything that is there. This is, I mean, he's just playing at a really high level right now, not just as a passer, but from a mental aspect as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm right there with you. And you're talking about when quarterbacks go to these quarterback training situations, right? And you had this discussion before. And you say, okay, what's my technique, right? I'm practicing this new technique. But when the bullets are live, DP, sometimes quarterback revert back to their old technique. But what you see, they see their Stroud never gets sped up. And that's why something I always look at quarterbacks is like, okay, cool. When things are not exactly how you want them, right? When you're starting to see a little pressure, how do you react, right? Like you wasn't expecting your wide receiver. That's not how y'all draw that up for your wide receiver to take that long to get off the line of scrimmage, right? But he understood that he understood that he still went through his progressions. And it's like, you know what? I have a half a second more to be able to get this football out. I'm gonna still hit you in stride, still be accurate. I'm not gonna compromise any of my, my technique or my throwing motion to be able to get you the football. So that's just another high level play. And you're talking about just being a veteran and nothing getting sped up for him mentally.
100%. And we keep talking about the formations. They do a good job dictating the formation of the defense, right? The alignment, right? You're not going to go into too high safety shells and different things like that when you are in a run heavy package. And I like that. And this throw was really good, Keith, because he puts it high and away from the defender that's trying to close underneath, where you have the two end cuts, right? Noah Brown, kind of working in the slot, and him throwing him kind of upfield, kind of almost back shoulder, really, but his helmet are higher. And I think that's Carlton Davis just isn't able to make a play because he's playing out of phase of sorts at the same time.
Yeah, this was so. If you remember the earlier throw, right, when we talked about that, he missed. This was one where I was like, okay, I wonder if he still kind of missed that high in a way too,
Yeah.
right? Because the ball kind of changes trajectory at the very last second. It's not the exact trajectory that the wide receiver was on, but I agree with you, DP, that it in the how it played out, it wound up being the best position for the football, right? Because if that thing was potentially on a rope. The defender with that's Colton Davis, right? He had the opportunity to jump under that thing, but at the last, you can sell that ball just had a little bit more air than Brown was able to adjust to it and then put it in the exact spot because he kind of what he did was he let him upfield a little bit more than what Brown was expecting, but that was the exact spot the football needed to be in.
And it seems like this was a play that was like almost like it could have been a disaster because if you
No, it
look
was
at it, you
definitely a
think
busted
like
play.
Singletary is supposed to go to the left for the fake and also work as a pass protector. He goes to the right. CJ sees it, quickly bails out of the fake, gets his feet set, and realizes I do have pressure working off that side. Let me slide up and get this ball high and away. And it's just just good stuff. Like just be able to recover from a potential bad like miscommunication and poor execution from the rest of his teammates.
Yep, I agree. It was definitely a busted play, but like you said, but don't not panicking, right? Staying calm, and then being able to deliver accurate football. That's all the signs of you have a quarterback. It's all the signs of having a veteran quarterback. But this guy's a rookie.
Correct. This one, Keith, was a strip sack where I felt like I wanted to see him climb the pocket quicker here and get the ball to Noah Brown in the flats. Now it's 3rd and 18, right? So it's 3rd and 18. I think they were up 3 at this time. So you're saying to yourself, for me, I'm saying to him like, hey, let's just get whatever they give us, just take it, right? Don't put the ball in harm's way, not just with the pass, but even with inside the pocket. And you see, like he does slide a little bit. Again, put the cone on Noah Brown. He's wide open right there, right? So you see him get ready to slide up a little bit, but just not enough. And then he looks like he's looking down the field at a deeper route. And this is where he's just a young quarterback. He's a rookie.
Yeah, and this is what I thought. And it's almost where you tell yourself you can't have it all, right? Because
Right.
one side of it, we praise C.J. Stroud for not getting rattled in the pocket, right? Having pocket presence, feeling the rush, but not allowing it to speed up his process, right? But this is one of those where you're like, you know what? I wish you would have sped it up just a little bit more.
Right.
I wish you would have been a little bit more aggressive in climbing the pocket, but also escaping the pocket. And I think now we see a trend, DP, as we wrap up this film session, right? Is that listen, the next level for CJ Stroud is actually getting out of the pocket and extending those plays, right? Because you don't want, like I said, you're mobile enough, you're athletic enough to be a mobile quarterback. You don't necessarily have to be just a pocket quarterback, and that's where you unlock the next level of your Joe Burrows, right?
100%. You're going to have here, deep comeback to Nico Collins, right? And then you have the deep curl in the middle of the field, kind of very similar concept to what we saw earlier where Tank Dell ran that off the play action with the linebackers triggered downhill to fill the run gaps. But this time it's Noah Brown, and he just delivers a ball right in the middle of the defense. This time the linebackers, they don't have a reason to bite. They drop back, and a good job by Noah Brown breaking that underneath the linebacker coverage, Keith, but also by C.J. Stroud putting it on him again, allowing your guy to brace himself.
Yep, I agree. This was crunch time, right? You're driving the football down the field. You and I think the defense playing very soft defense, right? They're trying not to give the big play over top, and you just simply taking what the defense is giving you. And if you're gonna do this to CJ Stroud, right? Understand he's just a rookie. The guy IQ is high enough to where he's gonna find the holes in the defense, right, and just deliver the football.
No, 100%. This may be like the touchdown to Tank Dell on the stutter and go is your favorite throw. This might be
This
mine,
is
Keith.
yours
You
right
got
here.
you got the double corners with the double flats. And again, 16 seconds left in the game. Right. This is the final drive, and this is a whole shot, Keith. Just the ball placement, throwing them right between two defenders, zone responsibilities. I love this was a dime, man.
This was a cover two beater, right? They figured, hey,
Hmm.
if y'all gonna be in too high shell, right? It'd be cover four, cover two. They ran cover two, and this was a cover two beater. And I agree. See the straw executed this perfectly. And you almost go back to, I don't even know what offensive play that the Titans called, but I thought about Will Levis, right? When he had the, trying to drive the ball down the football field, and it was the very first play, right, when it was kind of was it 2 minute offense, and
Hmm.
he almost threw the interception right to the corner, right, and it's misreading that corner if he's sitting under or if he's climbing, to that vertical route. But you see this straw, he's able to read it correctly, right, and get the ball over the top because the easiest thing to do is, and if you're trying to play it safe as a quarterback, DP, you're hitting that flat route, right? It's like, you know what, let me just get the flat and get out of the way.
Fact.
But he was able to read that thing perfectly, understand his arm talent, and be able to fit the ball in that pocket and set
Dime.
themselves up to win this game.
And this was another dime, Keith. This is like out of all his throws, this was one of the most impressive in terms of anticipation as we let the tape roll before we get up out of here, man. Like just again, like rocker step by Tank Dell, but look when we want to see when CJ winds up to let this ball go. Tank is not even fully out of the break, Keith. Like he's not, great concept by the way. But look at this now. Like he's not fully out of the break. Tank is still climbing up field, and he already knows where he's going to throw this ball and where he's going to put it at for his young playmaker to go out there and make the game winning play.
Yeah, and you have to do things like this when you get close to that high red zone area, right? There are going to be plenty of throws where you're just going to have to simply fit it between multiple defenders. There's not that much space there, right? Everything is condensed, everything is collapsed. You're going to have the anticipation, right? You're going to read the defense, have the anticipation, and then have the arm talent to fit those throws in there. And as we've seen from CJ Stroud, and that one was for the game winner.
No, 100%. And like I said, just getting it out there early and just right on the face mask. right? Right on the face mask of Tank Dell, the accuracy, the ball placement, right? And just we keep talking about the calmness, the poise, everything that he brings to the table in these type of moments. That's what you need, Keith. If you want to win the game, you need that in these type of moments, right? We've seen the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Manning's, the Drew Breeses operate with the little amount of time on the clock. This drive started with 46 seconds, right? 46 seconds, 2 timeouts, and he drove them down. And his last 2 throws were 2 of his more impressive throws in this game that were full of impressive throws, Keith. But listen, that is C.J. Stroud, guys. That is potentially I don't even know if I'll say potentially. He is the offensive rookie of the year right now, guys. But as I said at the beginning, hopefully you watch this video, you watch this film session, your dynamic duo over here with the Draft Network, and you said, I'm going to like, I'm going to comment, I'm going to subscribe, I'm going to hit the bell notification. Hopefully we earn all of that from you guys, man. But Keith, C.J. Stroud really showed up in this game.
Oh man, he definitely did his thing. Man. I appreciate it from every aspect. And what you seen was a guy that has room to grow, right? But he's still a high level passer. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave this for the NFL fans. And if there's a couple 49er fans tapped into this film session, this may potentially be what a high level quarterback looks like in a Shanahan-esque offense. And I'm going to leave it at that. That's the mic drop. Man, I want to say thank you for tapping in, y'all, coming into another episode of The Quarterback Room. We drop these weekly. Make sure y'all tap in each and every week.
Absolutely. And guys, as we always tell you, everything with the NFL draft begins here and starts here with the Draft Network.